Hello and welcome to Cinema Wellman. I'm your host, David, and first of all, happy holidays to everyone. We hope you're enjoying your time with family and friends. Today we're going to continue a Cinema Wellman tradition of a holiday which was worse by determining which of the 5 movies in the Silent Night, Deadly Night series is the worst. They made 5 of these. In any event, we will begin where we always do, which is adjusting our Santa hat, which is by plugging the movie into the official Cinema Wellman Which Was Worse rubric, where, you live by the rubric, you die by the rubric, where we evaluate it by giving it a score from 1 to -3 in each of the following categories. You got story, plotline, and script. You got acting, special effects, self-awareness, and effort. After that, we'll run through the lightning round, where each negative comment will cost a movie points, and a movie can occasionally even earn a point or two. We saw that with Slaughterhouse. You never know. We watched this series in chronological order since we thought that made the most sense. That strategy made more sense than any of the movies we watched. So, happy holidays, and let's get to it. We're going to begin 1984, Silent Night, Deadly Night, 79 minutes, couldn't even make 80. IMDb 5.8, directed by Charles E. Sellier Jr. The rubric gives us a 1 in story, plotline, and script, a 0 in acting, 1 in special effects, 0 in self-awareness, 1 in effort, giving it a total of 3 points going into the lightning round. Positives. All right, here we go. And introducing Robert Brian Wilson as Billy. You got this, Billy? Leap of faith, +1. Here's a quote. Christmas Eve is the scariest damn night of the year. Is it? Is it really? This opened the same weekend as A Nightmare on Elm Street, so no wonder I never saw it. I read that 6 minutes were cut to avoid an X rating. I read that a lot, and I question it a lot. I also read that there were tons of protests due to the fact that Santa is the killer, and the controversy surrounding the film ruined the director's career, even though this was not the first film to feature a killer Santa Claus. That's just not fair. Why did we need to see Mom's bare breasts before Santa kills her? 1984 is not a valid response to that question. Billy witnessed Santa killing his parents, and he is given a mullet. Sister Margaret ties Billy to his bed. Sacred Heart on their worst day wouldn't do that. I'll get you, Jolene. -3 for the trauma. A terrible music montage to the song On the Warm Side of the Door. If that's a real song, here's the line. It's always Christmas on the warm side of the door. I get it, but Billy has Santa triggers and this new job at the toy store just might not work out for him. Christmas Eve, here's a quote, Christmas Eve, only one more day and this Christmas crap is history. So says the owner of the toy store? Really? Is he making that much money the other times of the year that he's poo-pooing Christmas? Oh, whatever. They make Billy play the store Santa Claus? Have they read this kid's file? Here's his line. I don't bring toys to naughty children. I punish them. Good hire. The nun calls the toy store, finds out Billy is playing Santa Claus for kids, and hangs up. That's a -5. Santa Billy strangles a creepy rapist guy with Christmas lights, but then he kills the girl anyway. -3. You're going to save people or just kill them all? Christmas Eve babysitter getting naked on the couch. Naked Christmas Eve babysitter. And the line, 2 ball in the corner pocket. Oh, please. -5. Santa impales the babysitter on a mounted reindeer head. That's a +1. Santa was shot and killed by police while attempting to axe murder a nun in a wheelchair. Was that on your bingo card? +2. You're safe now. Santa Claus is gone. Except for the obvious sequel tease with an evil child. So, if you add up all the minuses, we had the +3, and then we got a -23 with the lightning round, so we got a -20. That's not too bad, not too bad. Next, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 from 1987, rated R, 88 minutes. IMDb says 3.9, here they go, directed by Lee Harry. The rubric tells us -3 in story, plotline, and script, -3 in acting because we couldn't go lower, 0 in special effects, -3 in self-awareness, -3 in effort. So lazy, giving it a total of -12 points going into the lightning round, which will not be kind to it. They actually waited 3 years to do the first sequel, so I'm going to give that a +1. They asked the director of the first Silent Night, Deadly Night to direct this, and he declined. That's not a good sign. Shot in 10 days, and you know what I'm going to say. It shows. The actor playing 15-year-old Ricky in this movie was 24 years old at the time. One of the opening sequences is nothing more than a flashback from the first movie. We are, of course, once again shown Mom's bare breast before she is killed, -2. One brief scene with Ricky and his psychiatrist is followed by another flashback from the first movie. This flashback contains the other strange nudity from the first movie, of course, -2. The Catholic school's dress code for boys is apparently jeans and flannel shirts. Our Lady of Grunge. The movie's poster reads, quote, "The nightmare is about to begin again," end quote. Is that because this is really just the first movie all over again? A second poster reads, quote, "Prayers won't save you in the silent part of this night," end quote, which really doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, so another short scene with Ricky and the doctor and another flashback. Is this what the entire movie is going to be? That's a -2. And they did it again. So how am I going to score this? It's worse since they're essentially making me watch the first one again without my consent, right? That's -2. The commercials on Amazon Prime during this movie are more interesting than this movie, and I don't watch commercials. They certainly included every bit of nudity from the first one in this. The holiday party at this neighborhood toy store would have had a human resources department busy for years. Screaming woman intercut with shots of nutcrackers with their mouth open? Not bad, +1. More flashback, more nudity. I really am just watching the first movie again. This is inexcusable. This movie hates everyone who's watching it. -5. So I'm watching this on my computer. I'm totally bored, and Amazon Prime has this feature they refer to as X-ray. And if you click it, they tell you fun facts about the film. No fun here. But you can also click on Cast, which they list at 80. 80 people were in the cast of this movie? Fewer than 80 people saw this movie. And why behead a snowman with an axe? That's just too much. A girl's boyfriend gets super aggressive on an outdoor date. The guy goes to his Jeep for another beer and then is repeatedly run over by that Jeep driven by Santa Ricky. All the girl has to say after witnessing this horrific, bloody murder is, "Thanks." And she walks away. The overacting done by Eric Freeman as Ricky in this is some of the worst I have ever seen. And that's saying a lot. -3. Could have been a lot more. Ricky impales a guy with an umbrella and then opens it on the other side. And then it starts to rain. Cue Alanis Morissette. +1. So now they go to a movie in this movie, and it's a scene from the first movie. Is that possible? Did I see that correctly? I think I did. I honestly can't imagine any of the other films in this series being this bad. Did Ricky just inadvertently look into the camera? -3, absolutely. Like lost control. And then the double bonus. We get the double bonus. It's going to be a -2 of a car going over that phantom construction ramp in the middle of nowhere, flipping over and then exploding on impact. We love that. This Mother Superior, she just won't give up. She's so hateful. I'm rooting for Ricky Santa to give her the axe, and he does. But not before he says, "Naughty this." Really? Does Ricky Santa really yell boo at the cops before they shoot him to death? Yes? Yes, he does. -3. Oh, and the gaffer on this film was named Romance. If that's real, I'll watch this movie again on a loop for a month. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2 got a -12 in the rubric and then hit with another minus 36 in penalties, and that has a minus 48. So definitely in the lead going into Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Better Watch Out, from 1989, rated R, 90 minutes, IMDb 3.5, directed by Monty Hellman. The rubric tells us that -1 in story, plotline, script, -1 in acting, 0 special effects, 0 self-awareness, -1 in effort, giving it a total of -3 points going into the lightning round, which isn't bad. I'm sure the movie is. All right. Ricky's back from the dead, but at least they got a new actor to play him, so I'm giving a +3. That's how bad Eric Freeman was in the second one. And third in the series and third director, that's never a good sign. You just lost those 3 points. Robert Culp as Lieutenant Connolly, finally someone I recognize in this series. It's a +1. We love Bob Culp. The opening 7 minutes is an obvious dream sequence, and not sure if we were supposed to believe it was real or not. The main character is a young blind woman who somehow is connected to Coma Ricky, so now she gets to see flashbacks from the first movie as well. -2. Yes, they're showing flashbacks again. Coma Ricky is sporting a clear dome on the top of his head through which we can see his exposed brain. It's in fluid. I read that neither the director nor the producer of this film saw either of the first 2 films, which makes a lot of sense. Here's a line from the film. Who said you had to be the world champion blind orphan? Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Nasty hospital receptionist is opening the mail at the front desk of the hospital with a scalpel. -2. And then she gets murdered with it, so I should have given back a lot of points for that, but didn't. Coma Ricky, now hospital escapee Coma Ricky, is wandering around with his hospital gown and the clear brain box, and nobody seems to care. He's hitchhiking and he actually gets picked up. -3. More flashbacks from the first movie, -2. This is supposed to be more of a comedy than a horror movie from what I read, and from what I saw, it is neither of those. Coma Ricky puts a ski cap over his dome and goes to an old woman's house for a Christmas Eve dinner. Red reactivates his childhood trauma. Well, then I guess I understand this Christmas problem. A beheading of a gas station attendant warrants 2 police cars. I saw a guy pulled over in Westford last week, and he had 4 police cars for him. I wonder how many people he beheaded. And here's a line. They made Bob Culp read this. And speaking of snakes, excuse me while I relieve the reptile. Who wrote this garbage? Impressive that the fluid in Coma Ricky's brain helmet doesn't leak out. It's really the only thing that I was paying attention to at that point in the movie. Here's a quote. Hey, Bubblehead, is it live or is it Memorex? So talk about a dated reference and a dated product placement. So Coma Ricky dies by falling on a knife, but delivers the final line of the film while dressed in a tuxedo, quote, and a Happy New Year. Explain that to me. That's -3. All right, so Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Better Watch Out, -3 in the rubric, and then another -22 for a total of -25, and that means that Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 is still well in the lead to be the worst. But let's not count out Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, Initiation, 1990, R, 87 minutes, IMDb 4.3, directed by Brian Yuzna. Rubric gives us a -2 in storyline, story, plotline, and script, -1 in acting, 0 in special effects, a -1 in self-awareness, -1 in effort, giving it a total of -5 points going into the lightning round. The opening scene has Clint Howard, yes, Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother, Clint Howard, as a homeless man and a flaming woman falling from the top of a building. Good start. I gave a +1 for that. So, Clint Howard, Maud Adams, Alice Beasley, those are all people I recognize. So, is this franchise really a franchise at all? The 4 movies, 4 different directors makes me think no. Hotel room couple having acrobatic sex while watching a gruesome news report on television. I honestly cannot recall a series of films with this little in common. -5. Hobo Clint Howard pulls a squirmy bug-like character out of a rooftop air vent, and I'm starting to wonder what I'm doing here. Did single women in the 80s and 90s really get totally undressed with their shades fully up and curtains fully open? I was around then. I didn't run into too much of that. So gigantic cockroaches are now a part of this? Where did Santa go? Is a witch's coven part of this? Did my parents lie to me about Christmas? Nasty vomit of a live bug scene that I did not ask for, -2. I have to be totally honest and admit that I checked to see if I was watching the right movie twice, -2. Oh, there's a flashback. We're in the right series. And there's a nauseating birth sequence that had me longing for Santa swinging an axe. So there's the fourth one. It's with -5 with the rubric, and another -16, wasn't that -23? So still, Silent Night, Deadly Night, -48, and then Part 3, -25, and then Part 4, -23, and then, yeah, okay. Let's get to the next one. Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker from 1991. Also R. 86 minutes, IMDb says 4.6, directed by Martin Kitrosser. The rubric, 0 story plotline script, 0 acting, 1 special effects, 0 self-awareness, 1 in effort, giving it a total of +2 points going into the lightning round, and a rare positive exit from the Cinema Wellman rubric of shame. Here we go. Decent opening, with a dad being killed by a mysterious toy delivered to a house on Christmas Eve. At least this one has to do with Christmas, +1. And Mickey Rooney as Joe Petto, great. I hate Mickey Rooney, -2. And Joe Petto, I also hate Pinocchio, another 2. Nice practical effect of Larry the larvae, it's a toy, going into a guy's mouth and out of its eye, +1. I was going to ask how Clint Howard can be back when he died in the last one with giant bugs crawling out of him, but I really don't care, -2. For some ungodly reason, the director decided to intercut 2 different sex scenes together. And the results are creepy and gross because of the participants that are in it. I'll spare you that, but -4, there's 4 people involved. Thank goodness evil Santa toy maker Mickey Rooney unleashes demonic toys on them. Cyborg Santa. I did not see that coming. It doesn't make much sense, but better than a vast majority of this series. The Pinocchio thing gets really weird when Pinocchio, the cyborg Santa that toy maker Santa Mickey Rooney creates, he admits that Joe Petto couldn't build him a penis. And he's upset about that. And then he gets like rapey. It was extremely disturbing, -10. Here's a line, "Don't be afraid, it's only a toy, Mommy." End quote. And scene. And franchise, and a teaser for yet another sequel. There is one slated to come out as we speak. No numbers, just titled Silent Night, Deadly Night 2025. You're running out of time. Today is December 23rd. Not sure how it's connected, since I'm really not sure how any of these were connected. So the Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, +2 with the rubric -10. And then we got another, so that must be -20, whatever the math is, ends up with a -22. Let's see, quick math, actually no need to do the math as we figured out the answer to the question, which was worse. David, the numbers don't matter. When it comes to the Silent Night, Deadly Night series, it's pretty overwhelmingly clear that Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 is the worst. So worst to best, it's Part 2. Worst to best. Part 2, Part 3, better watch out. Part 4, Initiation with the Witches. Part 5, The Toy Maker with Mickey Rooney and Pinocchio without a penis. And then the original, which really wasn't much to write home about either. I did also happen to watch two different films titled Silent Night a couple of days ago, and the one with Keira Knightley from 2021 was actually pretty good. So watch that before looking at any of these. So look for that one, Silent Night from 2021, starring Keira Knightley. There you go. Well, that is a wrap from here at Cinema Wellman and Which Was Worse, number 10. We hope you like these. We love doing these. What's our next one? Has to do with animals, I'm sure. We hope you join us again next time for a very quick thank you episode and a cinematic wish list heading into 2026. And until then, take care.